What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's see, I don't think anyone's here, but that's okay because I will wait as long as I need. There's a lot going on in everyone's lives, I'm sure. Let's see. I'm gonna just finish up one last thing. How's everyone doing? Feel free to just this is just gonna be a hangout session. Hi, Salami. Luis, what's up? What's up, Micah? Micah or Mika? One of those two. What's up, Neil? Hi, everyone. Dean Space. Nice name. Hey, Claudia. Hello, everybody. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post an Instagram update, like right now. I'm going to be like, yo, we hanging out up in here. I'm going to just be like, join the squad. And that's what's going to happen. All right, ready? Join the squad. Okay. Social media is so funny. Okay, anyway. Let's hang out. What is this going to be? We're just going to hang out for a bit. All right, like this video. If you're here, you ready to have a good time? We're just going to chill. We're going to I don't actually know where this is going to go. I would love to talk about science. I would love to talk about med school. I would love to talk about anything you guys want to talk about. So, yeah. I'm going to try to do a little bit more of these. I would love to know if you guys like these live videos, where you would like these live videos to go. I still plan on posting YouTube videos, but what is our squad name, Claudia? That is a great question. What's our squad name going to be? We should be like H3 because no, we should be 5H3 because then we'd be serotonin, which would mean we're good. I don't know. That was so lame. I don't even know what to say, honestly. Okay. We need a squad name though. So any recommendations, put those in the chat. But yeah, I don't know where these live sessions would go. I would love to hear feedback from you guys. I would love to hear what you want. I would love to also just do Q&A questions. I have about half an hour today, so we can talk about anything you guys want to talk about. And so I would love to do any of that. Let's see. Let me tell you guys about my day today. I like to usually unwind a long day after just by telling people what happened. So today, woke up bright and early, usually wake up around 7 or 8. Woke up early, got started with research. I'm doing a neuro project, so I did some of the research catching up. And in this research, all I have to do is go into Epic, which is the online system, and I usually have to collect data for a lot of patients because we're making a database. Once I collect that data, I have to enter it into a spreadsheet. So it's a lot of tedious work, but it's one of my summer research projects. So I did that until about from 8 to noon. About at noon, I made myself some dank avocado toast. You can check it out on my Instagram story. I've been trying to cook a bit more. I developed my cooking skills this summer, so I'm really happy about that. So from 12 to 1, I did that. I've been watching The Office. If anyone watches The Office, please just like this video because I love it. I've been watching it for the second time and I'm like in love with this show. So I watched The Office. I've been watching it on and off. And throughout this entire time, I was also doing a lot of flashcards. So I'm doing a lot of flashcards to kind of start recalibrating myself for school. And the flashcards that I've been doing, I've been kind of prepping my pharmacology and infectious disease. So if you guys want to know about any disease that's caused by a pathogen, feel free to message the group and I'll tell you as much as I can about it. I don't know that much, but I would love to share because I like to teach, but I also like to learn from you guys if you know things. So I was doing flashcards, and so around 2, I then had a meeting with one of my PIs. Great guy. He's from Harvard Med, really big mentor to me. So I kind of showed him what I collected. He gave me some feedback and all of that happened. Finished the meeting around 3, met with one of my other med school classmates who is a research powerhouse. And so I wanted to ask her about her experiences, how she ended up doing the research that she did. So you guys know that mentorships are really important. And I look up to people and I ask friends all the time about how they do the things they do. And that's how I learn. And that's how I disseminate information to you guys. So I talked to her for another hour or so. That was really helpful. Then I went to the gym, worked out, and worked on a run and quickly back in shape. But I'm also trying to slowly start lifting a bit. So doing all of that. And then I came back home to you guys, and I'm ready to get this off the road. So that's been my day. School still has not started yet. So yeah, basically just a lot of studying, a lot of exercise, and now hanging out with you guys. So that's that. Everyone loves The Office. That's great. I'm glad. So basically, for anyone wondering, this is my last summer until I don't think I get any more summers. Like this is my last summer ever. So once class starts on next Wednesday, we don't have summer next year. So you're pretty much grinding it out. And then I guess the next break you get is the break you take while you apply to residency. You do not get regular breaks in medical school. I think you get spring break in your first year, but you don't get any real breaks after that. So you kind of had to just keep grinding. Let's see. So that's pretty much it. What is my neuro project about? It's about attachment styles. So if you guys think about attachment styles, there's two main types of attachment styles, secure and insecure. So people who are secure have a lot of their foundational personalities invested in themselves, and they don't invest as much in other people, versus people who are insecure tend to have like their foundational aspects of who they are invested in themselves, but they also rely on the people around them to like inform who they are. So we're kind of seeing how those attachment styles go with people's behaviors in the ICU. It's an interesting study. It's more clinical than molecular biology. So yeah, proteins. I like that. I like that name, Gilbert. I will think about that. Proteins is good. Gilbert and I have been talking on Instagram, so we know. I like that. We'll keep it up. Do I think nutrition should be taught way more in med school? You know what's funny? Nutritional science is the most contradictory thing in the world. Like there's so many things out there that are agreeing with things, so many things that are disagreeing that I don't even know what to believe, but I do agree nutrition is not taught as much as it needs to be in medical school, and it should be taught more. So it's not nearly taught as much. I don't know how to think about my diet. I don't know how to think about foods. I know the general gist of things and I can explain it to you, but that's pretty much the most I know. How many words per minute can I type? I'm not a fast typer, probably pretty slow. So I don't know. I'll actually do the test and get back to you guys next time. Damn, I love this. I love this. Let's see. Signed up for my first 2 interviews. Congratulations. Any advice? I think I posted a video last time on interview. There's a video I posted last time I went live, which is just about the free MCAT, free MCAT resources. There's a bunch of interview tips in there, so you could definitely check that out. I don't know what omega alpha is, but yeah, I don't know what it is. So yeah, that's that. Let's see. Let me see if I can show you guys a random fun thing I learned today. Actually, no, I'm just going to go to my flashcards and see what I learned. Oh, I learned something really cool. So basically, when a patient, let's say a patient comes in and, you know, they're very hypovolemic. When someone is hypovolemic, they do not have enough volume in their body. That means they don't have enough fluid circulating through their body. So you actually have to give them fluid from the outside, and that's why they get to do an IV. But one of the tests to see if someone is hypovolemic is, first of all, a patient comes in, you get their baseline heart rate, and then what you do is you also do an echo and you see the left ventricular ejection fraction. So for all of you guys that know your heart, you know the left ventricle has probably the biggest and most thick wall because it pumps the rest of the body, and it has an ejection fraction, which is the amount it pumps out divided by the total amount that's present in the ventricle at the start of systole. So that's the ejection fraction. So you check its ejection fraction. And then if you wanted to see if your patient was hypovolemic and if they needed extra fluids, what you would do if they're lying on a bed, you would actually take their legs and you would like incline them. So if this is the patient, you would move their legs up like this. And basically what you're doing when you do that is the blood from the legs goes to the heart, and that increases the amount of blood in the heart. And that technically should increase ejection fraction, because now if the patient was hypovolemic, that would imply there's not enough fluid. So if that causes an increase in the ejection fraction, that's kind of a sign that the patient is hypovolemic and you should give them more fluids. I read a paper about that today and it was really cool. So I wanted to share that with you. So that's basic clinical medicine, how you use basic physical exam skills to inform your decision-making in the hospital. And I think that's so phenomenal. And that's why being a doctor is like the coolest job in the world. Anyone who says there's a cooler job, I don't believe it. Like, I think being a doctor is like the intersection of being a detective of the human body, which is the greatest machine ever built. And so being able to combine physical exam with all of these cool tests we have and trying to come to a diagnosis is stimulating. So yeah, hopefully that interested you guys, because that was something cool I learned today. Let's see. I actually have something else I wanted to share something else with you guys. And I would love if you showed me some love on this. So for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, I recently started this thing on my YouTube channel. On my Instagram, I post fun facts of the day all the time because I love sharing science knowledge. But I then transitioned all of this onto my channel, and all my fun facts about biology, which are about 30 seconds, are on this playlist. So you guys should check it out. It's basically a playlist of random fun scientific knowledge that I think you guys would really enjoy. So I think if you guys have any fun facts you want to add to that, let me know. But basically, I compiled all of them there. Check those out. It's mostly just to show you some basic stuff about medicine and to kind of share my passion for medicine with you guys. And I hope you find it helpful. If anything, it's just a cool way to show you why science is the coolest damn thing in the world. Okay, now let me answer some of your questions. My project sounds cool. Thanks. Yeah, neuro research is really cool. The brain is still the one organ we know nothing about, so I highly recommend we continue doing research in that domain. Medical honor society. Yale does not have any medical honor societies, and it's primarily to keep competition low and keep passion high. So I probably can't be in that honor society. Have I run a full half marathon? Have I run a full marathon? No, but I have run a half marathon before in 79 minutes. Back when I was like young and in shape, I used to be really fast. And I got second place, and I was really proud of myself. But that's never happening again because I ruptured my tendon. But I am slowly getting back into shape, so that's doing pretty well. But I've never run a full, and that is on my list. Let's see. Do I know nutritional facts by Dr. Greger? I do not. Can you link me that? Message that to me on Instagram. Message that to me on Snapchat. I'd love to get more insight into it. Any tips for a sophomore in undergrad? No, not anything in particular. Keep living your life, have some fun, learn more about yourself, make some friends, follow cool YouTubers, and hang out with people, you know, like pretty much follow your passions. If you guys are not as excited about science as I am, I think maybe trying to find what really excites you to that level would be really, really cool. And what I just mentioned, what I just said, the hypovolemic fact was not actually something I learned in my first year. It's just basically in your first year, you learn a lot more like basic science stuff, and all this clinical stuff you kind of get in the hospital. But I just read a article about it. So advice on meeting with professors about research. If you have a meeting with a professor for research, I strongly recommend you read their papers beforehand and then actually take their paper, print it out, and be like, I read this paper and I have some questions about it, and actually physically like underline parts and show them that you read it and show them why you have this question and try to show them that you actually thought about this a little bit. And that's actually something that's very, very important. So I would recommend that you do that. Print out one of the papers that the professor thinks is relevant, read the paper, write down your questions, and ask them to the professor. How do you feel about double majoring for undergrad? I don't know. It depends if you're really into it. I double majored in molecular biology and public health. Thought it was a great thing. I really had fun. So if you have passions like those, I would recommend it. Let's see. Tips for maintaining a balanced life while going through tough classes like orgo. Balanced life is really important, and I'm realizing that more and more now. One tip that I have is I always like to keep things in perspective. Like I try to treat my extracurriculars as classes. So I try to treat like exercising as a class. So I don't have an excuse. I have to go to exercise to the gym at least once every 2 days. That is like a fact for me. That's not something that's optional. That's just something I treat as, okay, this is just a class and I have to do it. So this is what I have to do. Same thing with like calling my parents. I call my parents like every day. So whatever you guys do that keeps you calm, I try to call them every day, tell them a bit about what's going on. I have friends here also that I text on a daily basis, and I kind of am like, here's what's happening with me. What's happening with you? Like, think about that. Isn't it funny? We live in a generation now where conversations like, how is your life? Don't happen nearly as much as they need to. So I recommend today, maybe pull out your phone right now. Just text someone like, hey dude, we haven't talked in a while. How's your life going? Do that. Like, you'd be so surprised. People love it when you do that to them. And my friends and I, we do that a lot to each other. And I'm like, how was your day today? Tell me about it. They do the same to me. And it's really nice to vent. And it's really nice to have someone to talk to and maintain that positive perspective. Because sometimes when I'm really overwhelmed, I'll message someone and I'll say it. And they'll tell me something that's really insightful. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm freaking out about nothing. So, okay. So go ahead, like this video, first of all. We're going to keep going. We still got time. I can answer all your questions. I'm also going to throw in some random fun facts about science because of that. Here is this flashcard I'm doing, thrombolytic therapy. Who knows what thrombolytic therapy is? Basically, sometimes you can get a clot in your blood that's called a thrombus, and it's basically an insoluble thing. And if you don't break this up, this clot can go to your lungs and block your lungs from getting blood. And when that happens, you get this thing called a pulmonary embolism. So what you need for something like this sometimes is thrombolytic therapy. You need to break this up. Thrombolytic therapy is also known as clot busting therapy, where you literally take this clot and you bust it up. And there's molecules that do that, like TPA, streptokinase. All of these molecules are used in the hospital for thrombolysis and to break up a thrombus. And that literally is life-saving for some people. Some people who get massive, massive clots, they need to have those clots lysed or else they might actually die. So that's what thrombolytic therapy is. That's the random fun fact for today. Let's keep going. Okay. Is it possible to major in both biochemistry and neuroscience? Hell yeah. I mean, if your school offers both of them, yeah, you can. I would recommend you not do that because the overlap might be really, really common. But if you want to do it, you do it, man. There's no one telling you what to do, and especially if you're passionate about it. What didn't I expect about medical school? So Christina, that's a great question. I think this is going to be more specific to Yale, but I don't know if it applies to all of them. I'm just so surprised by how chill medical school is. People were asking me, how was your summer? Was it relaxing? And I was like, yeah, but that was also how my school year was. My summer was just as cool. It was just as fun. So it's just interesting. I think it's because we have such a laid back environment. We have an environment where professors are supporting you. Just yesterday, my professor emailed me a paper and he was like, read this paper. I've never gotten an email like that from a professor before. And it wasn't even someone who I'm working with closely. He was just like someone who cares a lot about me. He's like, this is something you're interested in. You told me about it. I think you should read this paper. I think you'll find it interesting. And I was like, wow, you like care about me. I love it. Like, wow. It's such a great, nice, tight-knit community. And that is something I did not expect. I expected it to be gung-ho. I expected it to be hardcore like undergrad. And while it is very busy, it's something that I love. And it's also something that has come out to be a lot more caring than I thought. Was I on my college's Bollywood dance team? So I went to UC Berkeley, Amber. The Bollywood dance team there was UC Berkeley Azad. I was not on that team, but I did join it my first semester at UC Berkeley, and then I dropped it because I did not feel confident in being able to manage that and academics. And so I have not danced Bollywood in 6 years, but I did dance before. Any tips for orgo in general? Organic chemistry is probably one of the hardest classes that you will take in your undergrad, and I strongly recommend that you do a lot of practice problems. Khan Academy has a lot of them. You can also just Google PDFs of random practice problems. Those are really easy to do. And any practice problems that your professor assigns, do them at least 3 times. Once right after when they're assigned, once before midterm, and once again before the final. Okay. Thoughts on thank you emails after med school interviews? If they don't explicitly say no thank you emails, just write a thank you email. Okay. Some schools will say, do not send me a thank you email. So for those of you wondering, Kelsey's question is asking, when you interview for medical school, sometimes it's common courtesy to send them a thank you email afterwards. Some schools will explicitly tell you not to send a thank you email. So if they say that, do not send one. Like that's literally what they told you not to do. But if they don't say that, it's kind of implicitly assumed you will send one. And even if it's not, it's better to send one and be more formal than to not send one and be less formal. So yes, go ahead and send one. Would recommend. Shivam, has it set in that STEP is coming up? So STEP is the board exam that all second-year medical students take before they go into clerkships. It is coming up for me in about 1.5 years. I am not as worried about it right now, but it has set in that it's coming up, and it is something that I definitely have to take care of. All right, with that, we're going to take another science break. Science break. Who knows what the hemoglobin A1C is? If you ever go to your doctor, have any of you been prompted to get an A1C level? Like this, if you have. The hemoglobin A1C is actually something that we use to diagnose diabetes. And if someone in your family has diabetes, a lot of people in my family have diabetes, you might be wondering what it is. Hemoglobin A1C, well, hemoglobin itself is the tetramer that's present in all of the red blood cells in your body. The A1C actually represents this thing called glycosylation. If you have so much sugar in your body, it actually ends up attaching to hemoglobin, and that hemoglobin we end up calling hemoglobin A1C. If you have a certain amount of hemoglobin A1C in your body, it's actually good. You need that. But if you have more than normal, that's actually horrible for you. So that's actually indicative of diabetes. So hemoglobin A1C levels above 6 are actually pre-diabetic, and above 7, I think, means you are type 2 diabetic, and above 8 or 9 is pretty severe diabetes. And the reason that's bad is because diabetes, as some of you may know, is a chronic disease. It can affect your eyes, it can affect your kidneys, it can affect your feet, it can affect your blood vessels. So that's why all of you should get your A1Cs checked on a daily basis. Make sure you're not pre-diabetic, like yours truly. I am pre-diabetic, by the way. And if you are pre-diabetic, start eating healthy, start taking care of yourself, and you do all of that stuff. So hopefully that gives you some more motivation about why medicine is so cool. That's what the A1C represents. Okay, like this video. I noticed we have a lot more people, 49 people. Cool. Like this video. That was cool. All right, let's see. Do you think, Christina also asked, do you think that once you get an interview at a med school, that means they are okay with your stats? Generally, yes, that is what that is what I would assume. If you get an interview at a medical school, I think they would be okay with your stats. Your foot is in the door. Now it's a lot more about showing them that you're a real person, showing them that you care, showing them that you are cool. Like if it's someone who I'm interviewing, I would love to get to know them and know that this is someone who I can hang out with. Okay. Wilton, how many hours do you typically spend studying daily in medical school? I've never kept track of this. Ooh, wait, I have an app. Let me check. I have an app where I used to keep track of this. So I only did it for about 1 month in med school, but I have data from that 1 month. Let me check. Let me check for y'all. So in May, that was one of the first months where I was still actively engaged in school. I studied for the month of May 163 hours and 34 minutes. So I don't know how much that is. So 163 hours, 163 divided by 30.
It's about 5.4333.
Okay, so that's about 5.4 hours a day, but that's excluding time that I spend in lecture. That's excluding time that I spend like in discussion. That's excluding time that I spend talking to someone about things. That's excluding time I spend with professors. That's excluding time I'm spending on research. So 5.433 hours per day, including weekends, were spent literally sitting at my desk, grinding, doing something productive. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how much I'm studying, but that's again excluding a lot of those things where I don't actually turn my phone on and don't actually do a lot of those like measure accurately things. So 5.433 I think is actually pretty accurate. So yeah. Tips for starting a new semester. You got to approach each one with the right mindset. Approach it, make some goals. One way to get your eye on a good semester is to make some goals, tangible goals. Like if you had a 1.0, maybe your goal now is to get a 2.0. I literally had a semester where my whole goal was to be more social and my grades just went to crap. And I was like, I want to get to know more people. I want to meet XYZ, and this is what I want to do. And that's kind of what I did. That was my goal. My goal for this upcoming semester, I actually wrote these down. I always write my goals down. So let me show you. Here's how I'm preparing for this upcoming semester. I have my goals set for my second semester. Okay. So I mean my second year. My goals are, let's see, I wrote them down. Where are they? Okay. They are, for my second year, my goals are 1, more studying. So I'm going to get my grind together. I'm going to start studying more because I got to get USMLE in my mind. 2, I want to have exciting projects coming your way on YouTube, and I'm already starting to do that. And there's also a lot of exciting research projects I'm working on. So that's my second goal, continue those exciting projects. 3, continuing to learn from others. I think I learned more in med school, not from the books, not from the material, not from the science. I learned more from my peers. I learned more about their experiences, where they come from. I learned more about how to show respect to people I may not know a lot about. I learned about where these people are from. I learned about what their passions are, and I learned about them. And I learned so much more that way, and I want to continue doing that. I think I learned so much more that way than I do in the classroom. So I want to make it a goal to continue doing that. My 4th goal is to stay humble, continue staying humble. Humility is something that I take very seriously. I hate arrogance. And one thing I've realized is I think in the profession of medicine, because you're in it for so long, there's a certain level of arrogance that just tends to build with time, because you're like, I should know everything. And as you go, you're in this hierarchical system where you're supposed to show people below you that you know more to a certain extent. And so my goal now is, even though I'm a second year, to still stay humble, to still continue learning, and to make sure that even though I know more than I did last year, there's still an infinite amount out there that I want to continue learning, and to not let anything that I know or anything well that I do get to my head, and to remember that everything starts from basic hard work, and to always stay true to that, and not take it for granted. And the last one was to stay true to my roots, which means I have like 3 big roots, which is 1, work hard beats talent. Hard work always beats talent. So that's one of my biggest roots. And I have to stay true to that. I think I often let myself think like, oh, this person is just smarter than me, or this person is really intelligent. And I make one of the get around that is like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm just going to work as hard as I can, and I want to stay true to that. The second thing that's really big to my roots is to continue exercising and continue running, because running is a big part of my identity, and that's who I am. YouTube is also a big part of my identity, so I have to stay true to that. The last thing is to just continue maintaining the relationships that I have with the doctors here, with the mentors here, with my friends here, with the friends back home, with my parents, everything, because that makes me who I am. And I think that's something that I want to hold on to. So those were my goals. If you notice, I actually have them written down in a Word document. Not everyone does this. I like to do this just because I can start the semester with a mindset. Like, this is my goal this semester. My goal isn't to go drinking every day. That was my goal probably a while ago, but not anymore. My goal isn't to be as social as I can be. My goal isn't to, really throw myself out there. My goal now is to get a lot more focused on what I want to do in medicine and really get my act together. So you'll see that this all changes. Hopefully that makes sense. If you thought that was cool, like it, I strongly recommend you guys all write down your own goals and try to stay true to them as you move forward. Sergey, I have not even listened to that album, so I'm so sorry. I don't have any opinions. Sad life. Is public health useful for medical school? I haven't used it as much, but I think it would be if you learn biostatistics and you learn stats in general. It's a pretty good tool to have. Would definitely recommend. I did not learn SPSS. I did not learn some of those languages. Does it matter what medical school I go to? As long as I get a good board score, will I be okay? Yeah, absolutely. As long as you get a good, it doesn't even matter about your board score. Once you're in med school, like, even if you graduate lowest of your class, you're still a doctor. I mean, if that's a very pessimistic way of looking at it, but like, if that is very true, right? Medical school is a big hurdle to cross. So once you're there, congratulations. But then, yes, if you get a great board score, you can do whatever specialty you want. But you do always want to remember that, in general, people will always, people will always judge based on the school. Like, that's implicitly stated, right? And some, for better or for worse. Sometimes when I tell people I go to Yale, they automatically assume I'm really smart, which is really funny because I'm one of the stupidest people I know. And people will literally be like, dude, do you actually go here? And I'm like, yeah, okay, calm down. So the point is, like, there's just implicit biases associated with it. The point is, and the general gist is, you can always overcome them just by showing them that you are a phenomenal individual, and like, your personality speaks louder than anywhere you go anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. Okay. Hi, Lillian. Let's see. Let's see. What's my favorite genre of music? Bollywood. Sorry, I don't even have like hip hop or anything. I literally am just Bollywood. Like, Bollywood. There's some Bollywood mixes I listen to that are mixes with hip hop in American music, but like mostly Bollywood, which is really unconventional, but hey, it keeps me sane. And the artists in that genre, I don't know. So Bollywood music is a bit different in that the artists are not really credited. It's more of like in movies and stuff, but yeah. Let's see. Did you interview at the BU School of Medicine? I got an interview from BU, but unfortunately, at that point, I had already heard back from other schools, so I kind of like said I will not be able to attend the interview because it would be a really costly plane ticket for me to go to BU if I had already gotten accepted to a medical school that I was going to plan to go to. So yeah, cool. Continue to like this video, homies. Would appreciate that. Would also appreciate you guys continue to ask questions. I love that. I think it's great. I also hope you guys are using my resources. There's a lot of stuff I've put out there. And as someone who has created a part of this community, I expect you guys to kind of continue preaching a lot of the same stuff I'm preaching, which is helping each other, standing up for each other, hanging out with each other. So that's a big deal. So let's see. Congratulations on your interview, Christina. Steven, what's up? When did I start research at Berkeley? I started research summer of my sophomore year is when I started research at UC Berkeley. Yeah, it was a bit later. Sean, how much non-volunteer hours in what sense? You should clarify that. Non-clinical hours? I don't know what non-clinical hours mean. I don't think there's a strict limit on that, but you should be doing extracurriculars outside the hospital. Okay. Can you talk about doing research in med school as an N1? Ooh, congratulations, Bear Orange. That's a cool name. I'm actually going to post a video about my reflection on my first year of medical school, but scheduling and logistics are always tough. I'm going to try to hopefully post a video about that this Saturday. That's my goal. Okay. So how about Caribbean schools? So Sergey, I've talked about Caribbean schools before. As much like they get a lot of shit, which is a problem because I think they're great institutions. But the problem is if you go to a Caribbean school, your chances of matching are automatically drastically lower. And that's the biggest problem with Caribbean schools. I'm not saying that your education is going to be lower quality. I'm just saying your chances of matching just statistically by the numbers goes down. And so that is why going to the Caribbean is a huge risk because you're going to put in 4 years of med school tuition. You're going to pay 4 years of med school tuition. And if you don't match, all that med school tuition has literally gone away. You've paid it. So that's just the problem, you know, versus if you match in an MD school in the US, the chances of you matching are pretty high. In general, most med schools in the US have match rates about, I'd say at least 60 to 80%, which is really, really high. Let's see, most inspirational people I've met in my first year. There's a lot, dude. Oh man, I wish I could show you guys all of this. If you guys follow, I think most of you follow my Instagram. On my Instagram, I post pictures with a lot of the inspirational people I've met. Like there's this hematologist who is absolutely phenomenal. There was someone I met recently who there was a patient I met recently. Okay, guys, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. I had a patient the other day. And so she came in and then she had a lot of issues. She was in the free clinic and she had 3 kids. Okay. And wait, hold on. Let me go get this. I have to show you. Don't go anywhere. I just want to find this thing. I don't know where it went. All right, hold on. I'm coming. I'm just trying to find this one thing. Oh, found it. Okay. So basically, story time. I had a patient, and it was a complex case. I posted about this on my Instagram, and then at the end of the case, throughout the case, I was like having fun with her kids, kind of joking around, and even though it was a serious issue, I really respected the fact that her family was there, and I understood the fact that they're going, like, it's a free clinic, so obviously it's patients that don't often have access to healthcare. So I was just talking, and at the end, her kids like made this for me, and I was so blown away. Do you see this? It said like bye-bye, see you next time, and on the back it said thank you for everything. Oh my god, I was like blown away. It was just like, it just showed me like medicine is so like inspiring, and you see stuff like this. So I'm making this thing called a happy box. It was suggested to me by someone on Instagram, which I think is phenomenal. I'm going to put things like this that I get from my clinical stuff. I'm going to put it into a box and just keep it as inspiration. I'm going to write the date on this. And that way, when I'm like looking back throughout my time in med school, I can look at moments like this and know like this was the first time I started realizing the impact you can have on patients, even without knowing that much medicine. And this was a big, big pivotal moment. And so believe it or not, this like something like this meant so much to me. And the kids made this for me, because they were like, you took care of our mom. And like, I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I just have never felt this way before. So that happened. So that actually was on my Instagram. I post stuff like that on my Instagram all the time. And I post inspiring moments I've had, moments I've gotten from other people where I felt inspired. So hopefully if you guys enjoy stuff like that, I strongly recommend you follow along. I really like sharing my journey. I like learning about you guys. And so here it is. I will post that Instagram right there. Okay. Do you guys think so? Great Bomb 126. That's a great idea. I should compile all my resources somewhere, huh? That's a great idea. Great Bomb 126. I don't know who you are. That's a sick name. Add me on Snapchat or Instagram. Can you message me that so I remember? Because knowing that it came from someone, I will remember, versus like me writing it down, I'm gonna forget it somewhere. So just make sure you mention that to me. Cool. What do you think about older med students? I respect the hell out of them. The med students that are older are often the ones that know a lot more about what's going on in their life, and I think they're going to make phenomenal doctors because they're more mature. So yeah. Let's see. I am still sending out AMCAS applications. You emailed me in June. You should email me again, Mantis. I get so many emails that it's really difficult for me to do it. You think I should frame this, Sergey? I might frame it. I might also just keep it in a box as a memory for something that I use moving down the line. So yeah. Ashwin, do you think schools like Berkeley teach content differently? No, they just teach the content as it is. But if anything, they teach it with more like pizzazz because they just give it to you and they're like, deal with it. Versus like schools that have a lot more attention, you can actually get more attention from your professor and potentially even get more help. Versus in medicine, you just you just end up having versus in Berkeley, you just have to deal with it on your own. Romy, that's a good question. I'm not thinking of MD and PH. I'm thinking about an MBA. Damian or Kyrie Irving? Kyrie. It's got to be Kyrie. In terms of player-wise, I don't know who would win one-on-one, but in terms of who makes their team better and who contributes overall to a better team, it's evidence shows Kyrie. You know, like Kyrie was on a great team with the Cavs, and then you take him off and you make sure you put him on another team, and he made that team phenomenal. Versus Damian Lillard has almost always been on mediocre teams. So even though if he's a great player, he's almost not been able to kind of carry his team to a certain extent. And I think Kyrie's shown me that he can. Music media outlets, reach out to me over Instagram. If you're coming to Yale, definitely hit me up. I will show you around. So that is one of my, I showed you guys my Instagram. What other link? Oh, I wanted to share this with you guys. So first of all, like this video. I also have something else I wanted to share with you guys. I posted this on my Snapchat. So if you follow me on my Snapchat, you will already have had this. But for those of you who are thinking about medical school, I think for those of you who are thinking about medical school, for those of you who are starting medical school, I actually found this really cool article recently. I'm gonna message it to this. I recommend you guys check that out. It's a free article. It's on JAMA, which is the Journal of American Medical Association. I strongly recommend you check that out and read it. It's for anyone who's starting medical school. I read it as someone who was already in medical school, and I thought it was insightful. So it's just a great way for you to know what medical school is like. So yeah, that is that. All of this has been great. So I actually have to go now, guys. But one last announcement for you guys. I'm going to post all of these relatively cool links below. But for those of you who just heard that story I told you about the free clinic patient, I work at the Haven Free Clinic, which is for the New Haven area. And that free clinic serves undocumented, uninsured patients that don't have access to healthcare. And we do this every week. We see at least 50 patients, and we give these patients medications. We give these patients the treatment they need. We give these patients full free consults, free referrals, everything like that. And the clinic is very high functioning. We have a very large budget, but we rely on fundraising all the time. And again, this is not a plug for anything profitable, but basically I'm doing a 5K for the clinic to raise money, and I just linked it in the description. You guys should check it out. If you can donate, if you can't, that's totally fine. I recommend you volunteer at your own free clinic. But the point is, yeah, this free clinic means a lot to me. It's for undocumented, uninsured patients. It's all entirely nonprofit, and it's all for the greater good for the community. So if you want to donate, that's totally chill. If not, that's totally fine. Everything I've done on here has never been to promote anything. And if anything, there's no way this is any sort of promotion. This is for the most pure cause there can be, in the sense of giving care to people who need care that don't have access to it, because we don't have healthcare for everyone. But with that being said, at least this is one way we can do a better job. So that's what Haven does. If you guys are in the New Haven area and you want to partake in the Haven 5K, I strongly recommend you do that. I think it's in October. So yeah, it's a 5K that raises awareness for uninsured patients. And it would be great to have any of you there if you're there, and if not, support virtually and continue showing love and support here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. Hopefully this was helpful for a lot of you. Let me make sure I've linked everything that has been important. I think I have. I want to link my other playlist that I just created, because I think some of
What's up, everybody?
Oh, wow. I think some of you may not have seen it. So I'm going to link a couple more things just so you guys know how to contact me. I want to make myself as accessible as possible, but it's just hard with everything that's going on. But I recently started a new project on my channel. I mentioned that earlier. And that's this project where I post a lot of fun facts about biology and medicine. Please feel free to follow that along, show that some love. I would love to hear any more fun facts. These videos that I post on this playlist, I don't send out to all my subscribers. And that's because I thought they were really short, and I think it's a waste of a subscription update. So I kind of just post them on my channel, and I post updates on my Snapchat and Instagram about them. So follow me on Snapchat and Instagram if you don't already do that. My Snapchat is Prerac City, so if you just add Prerac City to your Snapchat, you'll be able to add me. And if you add me on Instagram, my name is literally just Prerac City there too, but I'll link my Instagram here. Let's see, is there anything else I want to link? Okay, for anyone applying to medical, see, there's so many resources, you guys are right, that I should just kind of post these somewhere. But for those of you guys who are applying to medical school, I actually have a full-on applying to medical school playlist let me post that playlist right here as well. That playlist is now posted. For those of you guys who are just getting into college, I have a whole playlist about transitioning into college, which I'm posting there. So that's another list. For those of you who are into vlogging and academic who are into vlogging, if you want to see any of my vlogs, I have a bunch of vlogs. Those vlogs are in this playlist. And I think the last one I want to make sure you guys all know about is the MCAT question playlist. So a lot of you guys are preparing for your MCATs. The way I first started YouTube was posting one MCAT question a day, and I made a playlist of each of those questions on YouTube, and that is that playlist right there. For those of you who are on Facebook, I actually have a Facebook group where I have a bunch of MCAT-related content. It's all free, and it's all from people who are taking the MCAT. The group has well over 1,200 people now. Let me look it up, actually. Let me link that group. Let me see if I can find it. It's called the MCAT Support Network. You should be able to find it. This group has, let me see, I think it should have at least 1,500 people now. I'm not sure. Let me double check. Yeah. Oh, no, it has 1,200. So it has 1,200 people, but it's growing every day. So feel free to join this. It's all free content as well. If anything, there's just people helping people. So that's, let me see if I can link this Facebook group. So if you're in Facebook and you want to join a MCAT Support Network group, it's this one. It's also all free. Let me link that. So those are, why am I, YouTube doesn't let me post Facebook links for some reason. That's kind of messed up. Anyway, if you just look up MCAT Support Network on Facebook, look up MCAT Support Network on Facebook, you'll find it. Join it. I will approve your admission, and we'll go from there. So that is all the stuff I'm doing. As you can tell, I'm really passionate about this. So feel free to join the MCAT Support Network on Facebook, follow this playlist, like this video, subscribe to the channel. There's a lot going on here. These are the most amount of resources I have available, and hopefully you guys can use them. They're all free of charge. I never have charged for anything, and hopefully you guys appreciate that. So yes, donate to my Haven 5K, follow my playlist, hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat if you have questions, and I look forward to continuing to hang out with you guys, and hopefully you enjoy this. I'll try to go study with me soon when I start studying again. Aside from that, thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Oh my God, I talk so fast and I'm tired. I'm going to eat. Peace.